Hello, everyone. It says I'm live. Hopefully this is working. Let me know if you see this and you're logging on for the STEM planning party. We're super excited. We have wanted to do this for a very long time and just haven't gotten the details together. And so this year we're super excited that we are able to host the first STEM planning party. Oh, good. People are logging in. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Amy. Hi, Karen. We are so excited for this STEM planning party. Our team has been working so hard over the summer so that you hopefully don't have to. So we're going to be helping you walk through planning your first month of STEM. So hopefully you found the free download with the planning pages. So there's different ones depending on if you teach multiple grades or you have a single grade. And then hopefully you brought your sticky notes. We're so excited. Brittany will be dropping in that link if you somehow missed those things. I love it. Look at all these people here ready to plan with us. Yeah, let us know where you're tuning in from, and let us also know, when are you going back to school? I know it's not something we like to think about, but I know for many of us it's coming up. Our son actually, he's not started official kindergarten, but this week he started like kindergarten readiness program. So he goes half days this week and half days next week. And yeah, so he's riding the bus. He's already kind of started school. Oh, back today already. That seems so soon. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So without further ado, I'm Carly, by the way. First of all, I guess if you haven't been around, if you're new, I'm Carly. I'm one half of Carly and Adam. Adam took our kid to his parents, and she's having some cousin time this weekend. So he is not with us, but Connie Ann is here. Connie Ann is part of our team. She has been part of our team for about a year now, and she helps make all of our amazing resources. She's a full-time STEM teacher and librarian, and she is who will be sharing the plans with you today. So we're super excited. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Connie Ann on so we can get this party started. So here she is.
Hi, everyone. Oh, there's the screen. So welcome, like Carly said, to our first STEM lesson planning party. There we go. All right, so hello and welcome to your first month of lessons. Hopefully this will give you guys a good start where you can either go with it the way it's written, or it'll just help you find some great things that you can pick along the way. So a little bit about me, like Carly said, I am a STEM teacher. I work at Randolph Elementary School on Randolph Air Force Base. We're right outside of San Antonio, Texas. I'm originally from New York, so that's where I was a graphic designer, became a teacher when my 4 girls came around and wanted to be more involved. Back in 2020, our school had gotten a grant to start a STEM program, and I got the opportunity to begin that. So 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, actually, I wasn't even really sure what I was supposed to be doing with STEM, and we were coming off of COVID, so stuff wasn't really back in the swing of things as far as in-person conferences. And so I looked online and I found Carly and Adam, and I've been using them ever since. And then, like she said, luckily I've been able to help work with them and develop stuff for teachers all over. Oh, and that's my husband, Brian. So our place is called the Imaginarium. Even though we are on a military base, we are a public elementary school in Universal City, Texas. So I'm part of the specials rotation where I see K-5 classes coming twice a week. And I also happen to be the librarian, although besides the kind of behind the scenes ordering and processing of books. I don't actually get to work with students in checkout. So it's really important for me that when I'm doing STEM lessons with them, that most of them are literacy based. So since they're not getting that read aloud when they're coming to the library, I want to make sure that they're getting them when they come to STEM class. We have a Instagram called Imaginarium RES. So if you're interested in following us and seeing what our kids are doing, how we use things from Carly and Adam in our program. So kids come, like I said, twice a week. They come to see me twice 1 week. Then I don't see them for a week, and they go to another. I have an amazing para that works with me, and she will work with them for 2 days as well. And then they'll come back to me the following week. That just worked best, and we had the opportunity to do that. So this way, if we want to do something more in depth, especially with our older students, then we're able to do that and carry over the next day. But if you only have them for that 1 day, a lot of these things can also be split if need be. You can focus on that planning piece 1 day, have them hold their papers. So it's not that you have big projects to hold on to. And then after, you'd be able to have them come back the following week and finish up with it. This is our space. We're really lucky that we got this new space. I know there's some of you that are on carts, and as teachers, we do whatever we need to do. So we have our library here. We have our makerspace. The makerspace is where my para works with our students. And then this is my STEM lab that I have. So like Carly mentioned, the things that you're going to want for tonight are your planning templates, your mini sticky notes, and something to write with. We will give you links to all the resources that we have within this at the end. So don't feel that you have to jot down everything. You'll be able to get that there. We'll go over in there, have the scientific method as well as the engineering design process and explanations of each of those steps. And then each grade level will have that 4-week plan broken down with what books it goes with. Then you'll have planning lesson templates. Like you'll see in the second picture, because the way that I plan, I have my class that I'm planning for, as well as my paras, that I have it broken up into 3. So in that introduction page on the bottom, you'll see that template link. And that will give you access to templates for you to be able to modify and make it your own. So I'm just going to start with how I plan my year. So there's a couple helpful documents that I use. One being our district calendar with our rotation. Those Monday and Friday classes sometimes get to be a little tricky because I'm seeing those students less. So it's important that I'm looking at that. I really try to work with my grade level teachers. Some of them are more on board with it. Some of them I kind of have to pull it out of. But so I get their YAG, their year at a glance, and I try to see what they're teaching in the classroom. So I was a classroom teacher before I became the STEM teacher. And I know as a classroom teacher, there's just not enough time to get everything done. So I really try to help the teachers by reinforcing what they're doing in class. And then sometimes I'll have teachers that'll just tell me, we're out of time. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to fit this in. Would you be willing to take this standard on for us and teach it within the Imaginarium for us? So I look at those years of glances, and as you're seeing in our planning documents, so as I'm doing mine, my top line up here is where I'm putting in those notes about things that are happening in the classroom before I plan where my things go. And then there are going to be things where, like my balloons over Broadway, like I said, I grew up in New York, We were lucky enough to spend many Thanksgiving mornings down in New York City watching the parade. So that November time is sacred to me in my STEM lab that I do my balloons over Broadway. But then for the most part, I just try to move things around so that I can help accommodate the teachers. Then, of course, my state standards I need to focus on, helping with those. And then I always want to keep last year's plans with me as well. This just gives me a reminder of things I did before, which grade levels I did before, if I needed to tweak anything, and then also recognizing what time of year I did them and if there's any changes that I want to make. So being ready for change, as we know as teachers, things always pop up, whether it's weather related or special events at school that come up at the last minute, or we're pulled somewhere and we have to be flexible. Those sticky notes make it really easy for us to move things around without spending a lot of work. I love my erasable pens, but the Post-it notes are a great addition because as things change, if I need to move things because of something that's going on, then it's easy for me to just move them over with the Post-it note. Or sometimes I put something there and I really want to do that lesson, but I realize I can't do it right then I kind of keep an extra page on the side where I put those lessons that I need to squeeze in someplace else. Like I said, you're going to get templates for all of these. And the best thing you can do is make it your own. However your schedule works, you can modify these. Like I spoke to before, up here is just my little place that I want to put notes or special things like dot day. A big thing for kindergarten when I started a couple years ago was teachers telling us that the students aren't coming knowing nursery rhymes, and they're finding not having that experience with rhyming is that it leads to other issues that they're having later on in the curriculum. So that's when I had started creating a bunch of nursery rhymes STEM. And then this year, I used to do it in January, and then they decided it was more beneficial for them to move it into the beginning of the year. So we just move things over. And then, so yes, like I said, Imaginarium 1 are my lessons that I'm working with the students. Imaginarium 2 is what my Para Sally is working with. And you'll notice with mine, I kind of have those split because I see them those 2 days in a row. While with Sally, most of the time, she's doing one of our lessons one day, and then we use that second day for a makerspace. Here's your lesson planning binder. While Post-it notes are great to be able to use as we move them around, the stickiness is not going to be the best. Start peeling up on the edges a bit. So I really recommend putting them in a clear plastic page protector. That'll just help you from losing your work. And then on here, in your template, you can color code if you want. I just thought it was easier for me to see, like, okay, am I getting enough coding in there? Am I getting enough of the arts? Am I making those reading connections? We don't have a technology teacher, so the technology part of our curriculum falls under me too, so I need to make sure I'm hitting those as well. And then there's also just a fun little cover for you. You can put your name on the editable one, and then a spine for you to have it in your classroom. So those are all in the template link. Yes, that was not in the resources that you got yet. Those will be the resources that you get at the end of today, these additions. So I decided when I was looking at this that I wanted to divide my 4 weeks into 4 themes. One starting with teamwork, then moving into engineering, science, and then a growth mindset. So teamwork. So we have a lesson for each grade level. Here, one of our new ones is Collaboration Station. In this, it's getting our students to think outside of the box. We just put a paper plate, and I had my girls decide on what could that plate be that's not a plate? One of our lessons from last year for first grade we're using is eraser. They were building a tower out of index cards, and they were writing words on them about being a good teammate. One of the things I loved about this lesson last year was I showed them as an intro how you could bend and manipulate the cards to make a tower. They were trying to see how tall they could build it. But from this lesson, later on, I was able to see in other lessons how they were using what they had learned in that and pushing it into other things. So that was a great introductory lesson for me last year. My mouth is a volcano. This is with toothpaste and explaining how once we put that out there with our teammates that we're not able to take those words back by trying to challenge students to put toothpaste back into the tube after they squeeze it out. On Amazon, you can find some like off-brand toothpaste that makes it very reasonable for you to be able to do this in your class. Or you may want to put out to parents, the kids get the little tubes that come when they go to the dentist, but maybe they don't like that flavor or something like that. Then you'd be able to maybe get some collections from parents as well for that. Another one of our lessons from last school year, we don't eat our classmates. When I saw this book, I always loved it with Penelope Rex. So I was happy to find something that we could use this with. And this one's just doing different challenges with mini cups and building a tower, but they have to use popsicle sticks instead of their hands. Yes, asking a dental office if they could donate would be a great idea as well. For fourth grade, we have Lacey Walker, Nonstop Talker. We're talking about good listening, but also in this, it goes into like good communication skills and how when we say something, we may have a great idea in our head of how we want it to come out, but that might not be how it's portrayed. So Lacey Walker is a great one of teaching kids to communicate with each other and seeing if the instructions they're giving are matching up what's going with their partner. The Fruit is Mine. This one is a great challenge for fifth graders because sometimes you throw things at fifth graders and they might want to breeze through it. But this one, they had a lot of fun with last year and it was challenging. So you're going to take a marker. I ended up putting mine into plastic sleeves so they're reusable with a dry erase marker. They have to use string to hold it and then work together to get through the maze. The lessons, my lesson time is 45 minutes. But a lot of these, like I said, are adaptable to how you want them to be. If you have a shorter amount of time, it may be a book and an introduction during one class and then actually doing the challenge on another class. So you can really look at the lessons, pull, and edit them to whatever works for your students and the time that you have in your class. Next, we're going to move on to engineering. So everything we're doing is with the engineering design process. Traditionally, it goes through ask, imagine, plan, create, test, improve, and then we've added that share in the middle. And I like to really get across to my students that the sharing isn't something that's at the end. It's something that's part of every part of this. I'll have kids that are looking at another table and then the other students will see them and say, they're copying us. And I'm like, wow, you must really have a great idea then. And I refer back to the engineering design process and explain to them, like, we are successful when we're all sharing our ideas. That works with our team table, but that also works as a class. And it's not a contest. It's not who's doing the best, but we want to have it so that everyone can be successful. And by sharing our ideas, we're able to do that. And as well as sharing our failures, because there's going to be times at the end where maybe a team hasn't been able to be successful in the challenge, but we'll share out like what didn't work for you this time. So hey, next time I'm not going to try that. I'm going to try something different. So in engineering, Harold and the Purple Crayon is a timeless book, but is also a huge hype right now because the movie is coming out. So for kindergarten, we're introducing them to those creativity challenges that we have. We've created some new ones in there, some with just a scribble and some with other parts of elements from the storybook. Next, for first grade, we have Be a Maker. It's going to take them through how they design things. We're using all different manipulatives in this so they can kind of become accustomed to what you have available in the classroom. And with this K and 1 lesson, you're introducing these classroom rules about being safe, being kind, and working hard. So I know someone had just questioned about introducing expectations, and this is one of the ways that we do it is by using these rules. You'll see right now, these are the K1. In a moment, I'll introduce some for 2, 3, and then for 4, 5. But I put them all up in my classroom because they're all relevant for any grade level. Second grade, we're having Made by Maxine. Here, we're also spelling out a name like we did in the previous lesson, but in this grade level, you're using non-consumable. So those makerspace items, getting them used to some of those, and then they're being challenged to make something for their classroom. In Miss Makey and the Magic Bin, they're going to make a nameplate. Here you see Carly's example, which has a great little pipe cleaner up there to hold a pencil. So you can see some of their creativity, and then they can also add some things about them. These are something great that they can take back to, if you are a special teacher as well, they can take this back to their classroom with them. And in here, we're introducing that idea of groups. That in groups, we're getting along, we're respecting each other, we're staying on task, we're using quiet voices, and we're staying in our group. For fourth grade, what can you do with an idea? Here, they're making those 3-dimensional nameplates here. And then they're trying to see what they can do with an idea of their own by creating something. And then fifth grade, we're going into The Girl Who Never Made a Mistake, where you're talking about some famous mistakes that have happened. And then you're taking 2 random items and seeing how you can put them together to make a new event, to make a new item, an invention. And then here we have our STEAM rules, STEAM or STEM, however you use it in your classroom, you can edit it. So S, you're going to stay in your area and on task. T, we're going to treat everyone and everything with respect. E, everyone will participate. A, you're always going to try your best. And M, we make mistakes and we learn from them. Next, we're going to move into science. Here is a part where I want to introduce the scientific method. This was one of the parts where this also benefits those classroom teachers that maybe science has kind of been shortened as time has gone on, as we've given more time for math and reading. By making the scientific method part of what we're doing in our class, just like the engineering design process, this just helps the students understand it better. In your download also, there's an analysis for you between the scientific method and the engineering design process that kind of just helps you see which is the most appropriate one when you're doing different challenges in your classroom. In kindergarten, we have Newton and Curie, and that one is also going to introduce Isaac Newton to them. Here in Texas, we got some new standards this year. A lot of it is focused on scientists and certain historical individuals. So in kindergarten, Newton is one of theirs. So I found this cute little book about the squirrels. And here they're going to make a catapult. We had something that was similar to this with the summer games this year, and the kids loved it. So we wanted to use that idea again with the catapult, like they're doing in Newton and Curie. And then in all of these lessons, we're having these mini science journals that's going to take them through the engineering design process. The younger grades have a bit more helpful additions into their science journal as they're filling it out. Next, we have Ada Twist Scientist. This was one of our original lessons. We are in the process of editing this one with the new science journal and the scientific method. It should be done in a couple of days. We're just waiting on Amazon to get everything to us. Next, second grade, Alexander Graham Bell answers the call. So they're working with pitch. They're making this structure out of out of straws. And in the lesson, it will have a template for them to measure out the straws so they're all equal. And then they're going to reflect on how the pitch changes as they blow through the straws. For third grade, we have the Curious Why. On this one, we are going to do a little experiment with Skittles. So we have water, vinegar, and soda. I use Sprite for it just because I wanted them to be able to see it equally as well with the water and vinegar. And when trying this out, I found Skittles work well and quick so that in a shortened amount of time, they're able to see the results in this. This is a newer book that goes along with the Magical Yet, which we have another lesson with. For fourth grade, another new one is Ice Cream Man. This tells about some cooking science and how they were able to make ice cream available to everyone. This is a fun one where the kids get to make their own ice cream. If you are in Texas, this also is a Bluebonnet book this year. So you can kind of like double check off some things with that by introducing the kids to this Bluebonnet book. And then our last one here with fifth grade, The Girl Who Thought in Pictures. I hadn't seen this story before, and it's great learning about how, with students, how we can show them how they really can be anything. And Dr. Temple has autism, and at the time when she was growing up, they thought she wasn't going to be able to do anything, but she really made huge strides in animal science. And then this is just a quick little one with water and sugar and yeast and how that comes alive and produces the gas to make the balloon engage. And then lastly, we're going to go with that growth mindset. One of the challenging parts of STEM is we're pushing them into things that they might not have ever done before. So this way, we just want to prepare them for that and realize that although they might not be successful today, they're still learning things that will help them be successful in the future. So our first story is Sky Color. We're taking them through a directed drawing with kindergarten. And back years ago, when I was taking an art class, when I first started teaching, I found it very interesting because the teacher had talked about how when we teach students to read or we teach students math, we're never going to say, oh, they're not good at reading or they're not good at math and just let it be. Like, we're going to break it down for them and keep working with them. But often with art, we just dub kids if they're artistic or not. While everyone can be successful if we break it down and show them steps to be successful. So this one is a great one with Sky Color. They're going to draw a sun, and then they're going to practice a couple times and see how they get better with each try. Next, we have Rosie Revere Engineer. This one is a fan favorite in our classroom. They are building a flying machine for Rosie, and then we use a zip line across the classroom, and they fly theirs across. I really focus on with this one that no one's winning. We can all be successful. Your challenge is to get across the classroom. Not necessarily has to be the fastest. But I love the story at the beginning because Rosie really just thinks like she just continues to fail. And her aunt takes that to teach her about, you know, how we learn from each failure. So Rosie Revere is a great one. Next, we have another drawing one with Giraffes Can't Dance. As you can see here, a little bit more complex of a drawing, but showing them again, when we practice, we learn things from there. Here, our connection with third grade, the magical yet, showing them how we, with that growth mindset, something I can do now and something I can't do yet, but that I want to be able to do. There's that magical yet book that I said that was connected to the prior day's lesson with the curious why. So they're seeing that same author and the same ideas go through. And then they're working together with some tower building again with the cups. Fourth grade, what do you do with a chance? So paper airplanes, you'll notice with students, you know, some of them, they've been making them for years and they're really good at them. Some kids, surprisingly, really don't know much about paper airplanes. So in there, we have step-by-step lessons. There also is a QR code in there, so you can watch the video that I made with them actually assembling the paper airplane. But this is also a great time to find those students where you know, they are those master paper airplane builders, and give them that vote of confidence if they can be helpers and go around from class, from table to table and help out the ones that can. And as you'll see on the paper behind, you're seeing how can you improve. So they're doing that first trial. They're measuring how far it goes. Are they noticing something about their plane that isn't working well? Maybe they're noticing something about someone else's plane that's making that work better. And then they're going to change it, try it again, see how things improved or did not improve, and then try again for that third time. And then our final lesson is going places. So we notice in that story, the kids are all given that same kit to build for the going places contest. And instead of that, we want to encourage our students to not do crafts, but to think outside of the box, put their own spin on things, and be creative. These wheels are great. They're on Amazon. They have a little metal axle that we put through a straw to help them move. But with many of these things, you can use whatever you have. You can also do it with a dowel and some glued on soda tops or any kind of wheel-based thing if you need to. So just because something may use a purchased item doesn't necessarily need to do that. So don't look at something and think, oh, well, now I need to buy a bunch of things with this. Use what you have and make it work. And then if you want to be able to get some things, you can buy them piece by piece as you go along. I don't have the Amazon link linked anywhere, but if you post that onto the membership on the Carly and Adam page, we can get that information for you. So I just wanted to go over some organization tips that I have found worked well for me. So in my classroom, I have my 6 bins, one for each grade level set up. As you'll see on the left side, I just put that book up there. Truthfully, most of the time I use YouTube videos in class to get them. I only have a small amount of time between classes. So unfortunately, a lot of times I'm still prepping things for them and getting things set as the story's going on. But I like to have them see those books in the classroom. And then sometimes they'll even ask if they can look at it further. And then in there, I have all my photocopies of things that I need and any materials. I have these great little cabinets underneath, and I have those divided by grade level in there. And then like if I was doing going places, I would have the wheels in there and some other materials that would have set ready to go. Within there, I have 6 tables in my classroom, and I have a little bin for each group in there, so that the best I can do, I'm getting those materials to them quickly and saving the time. I print out all my lessons. They're all available on the membership, but I like having a hard copy of them. I just use the Amazon Basics report cover and sheet protectors, and I like to put them all in there. If I'm cutting out vocabulary cards, I slip those in there to keep them together. And then also, if I need to have a sub, it's super easy that everything is there for them. It's not extensive lesson planning that I'm having to write. When I'm done with that block, I just take all of them, put them in a bin, put them together, and label them with what week I used them during the year. And then my lesson plans will just help me figure out which one I need to go to if I'm looking for something. Presenting in class. So like I said, I usually use YouTube videos, and I've been making all mine on Canva. So what I'll do is I'll just pull stuff from the downloadable PDF from the membership and make these. I'll have this screen up when the students are walking in. So they're going to know what the book is that we're talking about, but they're not going to know exactly what we're doing yet. Yes, the bins are on Amazon as well, and I can get you a link to that as well. Any vocabulary that may be in the lesson, I want to push that up front with our students and go over that before we get to the story. Then, like I said, I have my YouTube link here.
Lorena, there are days when your dreams haven't come true or you're upset by the things you can't do. If you've lost.
There we go. And here it's talking about a productive struggle. So I just copied that part. I felt like this was a key part I really wanted the students to get to. So I put that up on my slide. In here, there's the cards about if I get stuck, if I don't understand, if I feel stressed, I might feel overwhelmed, that those are all natural feelings that they may come across when working in STEM, because these are new things that they may not have experienced before. And then this gives them those productive, safe, helpful ways for them to deal with those feelings, being positive, breathing, thinking about what they already know, asking their team for help, pausing, trying a different way, trying again, and breaking the task up. This is something also, they are printed and they are in my room, so I'm able to refer back to them as the year goes on. Here I have, okay, this is the first step, what they're doing. They're doing that, what I can do, what I can't do yet, but maybe I will do one day. And I like, especially for the little kids, to have a picture of the materials that they're using. I have a team tub that has glue sticks and scissors and color sticks and pencils in there. And this way it just helps them know what materials they're using. And then I don't have, 20 kindergartners taking those scissors out and starting to cut this little guy out. They just know that they're using their color sticks right now. Then I just kind of bring it back together. We go over what were some of the things they said they can do. And I just project this on the board. I use a dry erase marker, just fill in one column, and then talk about what were some of the things they said they couldn't do yet, but they were excited to be able to do someday. And then we had the popsicle and cup stacking challenge. And so once we finish up that first part, we go over this new one. And once again, I'm showing them their materials. I also put on there, two sticks and 6 cups, because sometimes if a previous class was using materials and something got damaged and they did notify me, then the students will know, oh, well, we only have 5 cups. Can we have one more? One of the reasons I love using Canva, and if you don't know this, Canva is free for all educators, are some of these shortcuts. In my STEM challenges, my favorite part is the timer. So you can press any number. So say I wanted to hey guys, you're going to turn and talk for 2 minutes about this. I just hit the number 2 and that timer is going to pop right up. If I'm saying you're going to plan for 10 minutes, okay, I can add this on here. I can click it. I can type in 10, or then also at the bottom, if you hit the 3 dots, there's your timer button right there. So the timer is great for me. I love that I'm able to just quickly do it as part of the slides and not have to worry about having another screen up there. And then there's fun little things after, you know, you can get some confetti going. You're asking them questions. So Canva's just fun for all of these little shortcuts that they have. Some other useful resources that are great for this time of year. We have classroom decor now in there. These are my tubs that I use. Mine are color coded in there as well. I have them hanging from my ceiling, just those big gears with the numbers on them with their color. And I just, if you notice back here, this was my like helpful tip. I laminated a piece of construction paper that matched each bin, because where they're seated, where they're set in my classroom is like a 4x3 set of squares on a shelf. And depending on the grade level, you know, they're just trying to clean up and toss it on there. And then at the end of the class, I'd be able to, I'd have to go fix them up so they're in order. And by just putting that piece of paper on the back, it just gives a visual reminder for students. Oh, okay, this is where they're supposed to be. It also gives me a quick thing. If the yellow's not there, okay, yellow table, let's go. You know, we're still waiting on your team tub. Then we also have an extensive set of makerspace and STEM labels on there for you to download, laminate, cut, and put around your room wherever you have material, so you know where you can find things quickly. And if you come across something that we don't have, then message us and we can help out with that. Some other useful resources. This past year, we've been working on centers. We have some great ones for the beginning of the school year. We have fine motor skills that are based on K1 with things like cutting and lacing and tying shoes and practicing staying in lines, things like that. Then our fine motor skills for 2 through 5. And mind you, all of these, I mean, you could pull from both of them depending on what student you have, what you feel that you need. You might have second or third graders that need that help with scissors. So you can pull that out from the younger one as well. But the older one has how using paper to make different connections, how to connect with cardboard for construction, and some other things in there that they'll see later on in the year that are just a great way. With all of our centers, we give you more than enough to use, and you can pull what you want to use. They're all individual cards, place them out for whatever works best for your students. And then we also have that team building STEM centers. So if you notice maybe, second grade struggling, working together this year, I want to add some extra team building in with those students. That one is a great way for you to use. So I saw in the chat some people wondering, like, how do I get all of this? And your best bet is your membership. Like I said, when I started a couple years ago, I went to the summit and they were having our promotion. I was like, well, you know what? Let me just try out the membership. If I don't like it, I didn't really lose anything. And I stuck with it right on from there. The monthly membership is regularly $15 a month. Your annual membership is $144 a month, which brings it down to about $12 a month. But with the code PlanningParty24, you're able to get $5 off either one of those. If you do decide to sign up for an annual membership, then one of the new annual members will receive a grade level book bundle of your choice. So for one of those sets that we showed, you could pick a grade level and we'll send you those 4 books. Yes, things are sold individually, but your best bet is by joining. So for example, everything in that lesson, those lessons that we showed, you can buy for a bundle, but that's going to cost you a couple months. So another great part of the membership, sometimes I do things and they do not work out the way I planned. Or what I've come across too is I will make a mistake with looking at last year's plans. And so I will start a lesson and we'll start with the book and I'll say, okay, guys, today we're going to do this. And the kids say, oh, we did that last year. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me pivot and try something else. So I will jump on to the membership and I will find something. And within 5 minutes, I have something quick that I can download and get ready to go. Those of you that were asking, where can you get these resources? So if you click one of the links in the to become a member, so there is download your free first month schedule here. So when you click on that, that will give you that. And if you just want to know more about the membership and seeing what you can get there, if you click on the bottom there with Carly and Adam STEM lessons, that will show you all of the lessons that you can get on the, well, I should say most of the lessons, because we've just added a bunch already this week and more are coming. But you can see all the lessons that are on there and really the great value, plus the camaraderie that we have on the Facebook page and how we help each other. But all those lessons are in there ready for you, so you can see what you're getting by being part of it. Like I said, we have our Facebook group. Those of you that are not members, you're on the Carly and Adam STEM teacher group, but we have a private membership group as well that you'd be invited to. Either group is such an important place to be a part of. I know myself, there's been tons of times that I've thought of something and instead of racking my brain on it, I decide, well, let me just go to the Facebook group and ask a question there. Because if it's something I'm coming across, then it's probably something someone else has already dealt with. And they may already have an answer to that for me and be able to save me time. So if you're not on the Facebook page, definitely join that. And then I have an Instagram called STEMtastic Mama, STEM_tastic Mama, where I just post things that I'm doing, or sometimes I'll give sneak peeks of things we're making for Carly and Adam that you can see on there. And then now we're going to open up for questions.
That was awesome. Thank you, Connie Ann, for sharing with us. I saw so many great questions. Yes, if you are already a member, Adam made sure all of these resources are in there. So if you go to August, right under August, it will say first month of STEM lessons. And if you click on that, it will download that entire bundle of everything in that first month that Connie Ann just shared. And I see a lot of questions about sign up links. So Brittany's been sharing the discount code, which will give you your first month for $10 or $5 off the annual member. And the new annual members are entered to win that book bundle that Connie Ann mentioned. Are there any other questions? Oh, good. Brian found it and downloaded all the lessons already. Awesome. We hope you and your students enjoy them.
And I know there were some questions. If there's anything that you see that you're not sure you can't find on Amazon, like I said, just post it on our Facebook page and we can get you a link for that.
So the binder is, so Connie Ann, can you go back to that slide? Mm-hmm. If you click on any of those checkout links for either the month-to-month or the annual, so you'll see this, and to the left of the checkout, there is this little download your first month guide. So that has the Canva templates in there for the binder that Connie Ann shared, and it has all of the lessons listed by theme and by grade level.
And there's that link in there too, so that you can download the templates and modify them for whatever you need for your class.
I do not have a PD certificate for this free training, but we have, oh, Brittany, help me out. We just had a summit a couple weeks ago, and that all of that is still in there. And there is, I don't know, I want to say like 25 hours. Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a PD certificate for there's lots of PD also in the membership. You get 2 summits a year. And then, yeah, our story. Thank you, Brittany. Stories of STEM Summit is in there, 25 hours. If you missed it, it was amazing. We had Lonnie Johnson, who invented the Super Soaker, was our keynote one day. And then we had Chris Barton, who wrote the Whoosh book about his life in there. Was also awesome. Expectations included in the membership. All those posters are in the membership. So if you go into August and you download the full month, within each of those lessons that Connie Ann talked about, the posters are in there.
And then there was a question that about the member Facebook page. The member Facebook page is Elementary STEM Teachers Club membership.
And the replays for the summit, those are available for up to a year. So as long as you're still a member, you have access to it for up to a year. This video is available, like the replay is just on Facebook right now. So if you just go back to Facebook, when it ends, it'll start back over if you need to rewatch or start from the beginning if you missed some of it. Are there lesson plans for the rest of the year? Yes. So we are planning on, there are over 500 lessons on the membership website, which can get very overwhelming if you just hop on and look. So we are planning on being more present at least once a month, and we're roping Connie Ann into helping us. Hopefully pop on Facebook once a month to kind of, so that she can share of all the vast membership resources, what is she using in her classroom. So hopefully we'll be back on in August sometime, and she can share what she's going to be doing in September with you all is the plan. So yes, there are lots of resources. They're not necessarily step-by-step like this is, but we're planning on doing more lives like this to help you figure out exactly what should I teach when.
I saw a question about, is there a way to identify new lessons from the previous? Once we update a resource, then it'll be added to the membership in place of the other one. And then Carly, there's a question, if they're already a monthly member, how do they switch to be an annual member?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because I've seen that. So you can just sign up for the annual and then you can cancel your month to month on there. But even if you do that, I want you to email us at info@carlyandadamblog.com and then I want you to tell us that you canceled your month to month and you did an annual so that we can just double check that you're not double paying. Because a lot of times we have been finding, Brittany, bless her heart, has been finding that some of our members have been double paying, and we obviously don't want you to be doing that. So we would want you, if you sign up for an annual and you're already a month to month, to email us so that we can help make sure that your month to month is closed out so you're not double paying.
There was also a question, the 5th book in the resource handout, which theme that belongs to. That was just an additional one. If you're looking, depending on when school's starting, I go back the 1st, but I don't start with my kids till the 14th. But some students, some people are going back already this week. If you're looking for something to fill out your month, those were just an additional resource suggestion that you could pull in if you need something else in the meantime.
So the membership lessons are on the stemteachersclub.com website. So Brittany's been sharing the links if you want to either try out the month to month or try out the annual. So you'll need to go to that stemteachersclub.com and then use the code planningparty24 to get the discount for either of those. But Brittany's been sharing both of those links. I see a lot of comments. I know I saw a lot of you very excited about Connie Ann sharing her specific lesson slides. I know that's something that a lot of you use, and that's something that we're hoping to implement moving forward. So obviously if she has some, I don't want to speak for her, but if she has some for our lessons, I'm sure she'd be willing to share. If you join the membership and want to post in the group, does anybody, that's the great thing about the membership too. You can post in the group anytime, the membership group or either any of our groups, and say, hey, I'm about to do Harold and the Purple Crayon lesson with my kindergartners tomorrow. Does anybody have any tips, or did anybody already create slides for that? Or and that's just the great thing about the community. So we've talked about all of the lessons. We've talked about the PD, but the best thing I think about the membership is just the community and being able to, I mean, look at all this like collaboration going on in this chat right now. Like that's amazing.
Okay, a couple other questions. How often do you recommend we do centers each month if you see them once a week? It's really up to you and what's going on. Because like you may really want to hit the Christmas ones, but then you may have other things that are going on that impede you from getting those done in a month. So really, I mean, my hardest thing really is with the membership is limiting what I can actually teach in a year. I mean, there's no way to teach all the lessons. We've got more in there and more coming. That sometimes I'm just like, oh, I love this lesson, but I just don't have room for it right now with the way the calendar is this year. So it's really for you looking at to see what's going on. Like my dot day, that's a must. My Christmas ones I love. Then we had some March ones, but I also have a lot of other lessons in there. So that's really, I mean, I would maybe say if not once a month, maybe every other month, depending on what's going on in your classroom. A cart suggestion. I haven't actually been on a cart, but what I would suggest using is many of the stuff I already have. Using those group tubs, because those you can easily like stack on top of each other to take with you and collect your materials really quickly in there. And then those same kind of bins, you could put your materials in there. They stack really well with each other. And it, in my opinion, be able to move things pretty easily from place to place on there. How often do I change table assignments or do other students choose? This year, I went to having them sit somewhere specifically. In the past, I let them choose, but there ended up being some hurt feelings and people left out. So I decided, actually for two reasons. One, I wanted them to work with other students. And two, by having them assigned a seat, then it's easier for me to look at a seating chart and remember names of 600 kids. And to do that, because I don't know them all that well, is I just ask the teachers to help me. And I just did it out of pure ease. I did it once at the beginning of the year. I kind of had the kids come in and just said like, okay, you're at table 1, you're at table 2, you're at table 3. Had them sit down. I had the classroom teacher look at them, let me know if there was any like, oh yeah, I wouldn't put this kid with this kid. Help me have them move around a bit. I kept them like that the whole first part of the year. And then when we got back from Christmas break, I did it again. Mind you, I'm at a military school, so I have a lot of changeover. So it's kind of taking kids off the list and moving kids in as that goes along. Another helpful tip that I forgot to put on here, but I thought of with the tables, is I number my table seats. So on my table, let me go back. Okay, in this classroom, it's kind of hard to tell, but in each corner, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is an easy way for me. Like when it's time to, okay, I need everyone to come up and get this from me, or I need someone to go get team tubs. I can just say, okay, number 3s. Everyone, and all the number 3s, please go get your team tub. Or number 4s. Please walk your project over to me so I can put it on the shelf for tomorrow. So if you number the seats at your table, it makes things go a lot easier, and there's no fights about who's getting to do it. In my table bins, I have pencils, I have scissors, I have color sticks. If you don't know what a color stick is, it is basically a chunky inside of a colored pencil. And I learned about them from my para a couple years ago, and it just holds up a bit better than a crayon does. And then they can use them on their side too. So those work well. And then I have scissors in there. And then if you look at this picture too, in this top corner here, along the wall, you see like a red square. And I just took a photo from above of what the bin looks like, so they can kind of have a reminder of how their bin is supposed to be reset at the end of the class period. Doesn't work all the time, but it's there in hopes.
Yes, this is being recorded, so you can watch and rewatch however many times. I saw a question about the gears, which I believe there's a Canva template for that, so they could swap out colors or add different tables.
That's in
the classroom decor pack. Yeah, so that's a Canva template, so you can add more tables or change out colors.
Would kinder lessons be good for preschool as well? There's definitely a lot of these lessons can be modified, and it's amazing to see what students can do. I remember doing the snowman challenge where the kids were making sleds, and halfway through the class, like no one had gotten anywhere. And I just thought like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And then bit by bit, the kids started getting those aha moments. And some of them didn't finish, but they still learn from what did not work. So you can break things down. I would definitely say with preschool, maybe give some of those like introductory lessons with them of different skills that they're going to need to use. And then also just thinking forward, next school year, not this one, the following one, I will have preschool. So I will have more information for you on that next summer. My sessions are 45 minutes long.
Oh, the color coding of the sticky notes was so that you could see like one color, like this could be pink, could be coding, and yellow or orange could be science, and green could be math, like more math. I mean, it's STEM, so it's, but kind of which thing you're more like honing in on, what skill or subject you're kind of more honing in on. So when you look across, I like how Connie Ann explained it to me, you're kind of seeing like how balanced you are with your planning. Like you're not all doing engineering lessons for the year, all doing coding lessons for the year. You can kind of see that you have a good balance of.
Yeah, and with that too, like, okay, I have the light purple for special events and holidays. Okay, that's not really going to be movable because I'm not going to do balloons over Broadway in February. But you know, maybe my engineering lesson, I have a bit more flexibility with. And then I also added mine for grade level requests and collaboration, just putting a star on things because maybe it's something that's engineering or math or something else. But I put a star in it so I know like, oh, okay, well, I want to try to stick with this here because this certain grade level asked me to help them with this lesson. Yes, all the lessons are included in the membership. Also, one of the things that Carly and Adam created at the summit as part of the membership, we now have a request form. So if there's something that you're looking for, let us know. We're also, like I said, with the new science standards for Texas, we're working on getting more of those now that we've finished up the NGSS. So as the year goes on, you'll be seeing more of that as well.
Yeah, well, I think we're wrapping up here. We'll let Connie Ann go. I'm sure, I know there's lots more questions, but she'll be back. And for those of you that are a member, or if you just joined, make sure you find the membership group. And Connie Ann's in there too, so you can feel free to ask questions in there. Yeah, Adam just texted me that we have at least 12 new members as of when he texted me a few minutes ago. So that's exciting. Welcome if you just signed up, if you just joined the membership. We're super excited. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you have like Connie Ann specific questions, I know she shared, do you want to go back to that slide?
Yep.
She shared her contact information. If you have like membership specific questions or some sort of business wise type of question or something that would be better suited for us, that's not like a STEM teacher or something specific to her session, you can reach out to us at info@carlyandadamblog.com. And we'll try to get your questions answered. There were lots of questions. Oh, I love how, yes, some of our members do get their memberships paid for by their school. So I know that not all schools have budgets. I feel like a lot of our teachers are able to get it through the PD. I feel like this is just my theory, but I feel like schools maybe have a bigger budget for PD, like sending teachers to, maybe they get grants or things like that. So if you want to pitch it as you want to go to the summit, if that might be a better way than just getting the resources. But yeah, ask your admin and see. We do purchase orders also. If you are able to get your school to pay for it, that's awesome. We will let you all go. We'll let Connie Ann go. But we will see you all next time. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, all of the posters, everything is in the membership. So if you need help finding something, you can post in the membership group. You can email us at info@carlyandadamblog.com. We will help you find what you need. And we will see you all next time. Thank you for joining us for our first STEM planning party. I think it was a success. We'll have to maybe do it again next year. So we will
Thank
see
you
you all.
for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie Ann. This was super helpful.